conversation on camping for WASSCE has been a debate over the last couple of years, and the seriousness of the conversation is intensifying. The pros and cons of camping and what we've seen it to have, you know, the impact we've seen it to have in not only the exam but also the lives of these students who have done camping to prepare for the exams. You work as, you know, you're one of the CSOs in that area, education. Please, over the years, your observation, you and your team, what have you gathered as a feedback from the impact of camping?
Yeah, thank you very much. It has been a mixed bag. But firstly, let's look at the fundamental. We talk of education governance. In a school system, a teacher is required to teach having a lesson plan, having a scheme of work, and you must go by the syllabus for that prescribed subject based on the curriculum. In school system nowadays, as soon as the pupil is promoted from SS2 to SS3, we see teachers shying away from going to the classroom. We see a situation wherein parents have to be exploited to pay for lessons. And close to examination, some kids cannot study by themselves. This brought the idea of camping. But before now, what the ministry have done, the ministry have made it very clear as part of their policy. Say, there should be no private lesson in school. There should be no camping in school. I don't think the ministry have that authority to extend it to homes and other institutions that are not within the school corridors. I don't think they have that mandate, except government can come up with regulation to say camping is illegal. But since their jurisdiction is within the school premises, the ministry have come up with a very strong press release, no extra lesson in school and no camping in school. In terms of camping, there are advantages and disadvantages. Let me begin with the disadvantages. If we use camping to promote examination malpractice, that's negative camping. For instance, a few years back, you saw the Anti-Corruption Commission, they raided the house at Aberdeen, where pupils were camping, and they met pupils rewriting the WASSCE exam. That negative aspect of camping. Few years down the line again, you saw at East End, they raided a home. Pupils that were supposed to be in centers, writing examination in school centers, they are in a particular private residence writing examination, to the point that some went up the roof, some in freezer. The ACC Scorpion team did that raid. But a camping where like-minded pupils are, wherein you call lecturers, you know, to revise past questions, wherein you don't promote immoralities, I think those camping are necessary. You have them across the board. Universities, colleagues can come together to say, come read in my house today. I'm grounded in accounting. Come study. These are positive camping. But again, the way we're using camping of late does not promote morals, does not guarantee improving learning outcome. And these are the negative attributes of camping. For instance, you see pupils go to camp because they want to go to a nightclub. They want that freedom. At night where they can go out. You see them go to camping, not to study, but to sort for examination materials so that they can involve in examination malpractice. So there are two aspects. There is the positive aspect, there is the negative aspect. I will use Providence as an example. Providence normally, you know, they organize camping out of the school. But the principal or the owner of the school, Mr. Bangura, pay rapt attention. He does not move out without the authority of your parents. There are clearly stated timetable. There are clearly rules and regulation. This is why I think 2 years ago, they came first in their examination. So camping must be monitored, must be supervised.
So if you put
otherwise,
it,
it is negative.
This way, what would you rather say? Should camping be banned in entirety, or should there be more stringent measures put in place to properly regulate the period of the camping?
I'll go for the latter. Put more stringent measures to regulate. Phebean,
so those stringent measures now, I want to hear your suggestions.
Okay.
What do you think, A, the ministry itself should do, B, the school authorities and the parents? What should they do to maximize the benefits of camping and sort of eradicate the negative aspects that have been imbibed in camping?
In terms of this, the ministry have limited role. It is the school authority. Because if you look at the two-tier system of governance in school, it is the responsibility of the principal or the school, to manage the day-to-day running of the school. The ministry form the board, so they formulate policies, and those policies is being implemented by the school administration. So what happens, there should be that kind of collaboration. Because in some of this camping, some principals are against it. So you will see a particular teacher finding a resident, you know, those ones we oppose. But if there should be a regulated camping, the principal must be aware and the school must come up with clear guidelines, and they must have a form A that your parents should give consent. And secondly, when you are in camp, you should not have the authority or the audacity to leave the camp without permission. Either your parents request for you based on an emergency, or there is a reason for you to go out, justifiable reason that the head of the camp will say, yes, this reason is justified. On a Sunday, you need to go to church. On a Friday, you need to go for prayers. You come back. But without those regulations formulated by the schools in collaboration with those organizing the camping, we will condemn camping. Because in some homes, even you have all what it takes, some people cannot study alone. They cannot study alone. They need to come together. You use your strength, and you draw from their strength. You know, they can sit for a very long hours if they are together. But if you want, you are at home, maybe you fall asleep.
That's an interesting point you brought, and I'm going to come to you, Nicholas.
Yes.
Before now, probably 10 years ago, 15, 20, I'm sure in the days you wrote the exam, people were not doing camping. Camping started very recently, but people were acing their exams. In fact, some of the past results back then were way better, more significant than even of recent days. How did we get to this point where the thought, the perception is that you can only pass these exams when you go for camping?
Thank you so much, Phebean and AYV, for bringing contemporary topics like this. When my brother is talking, I draw a line that why even encouraging camping. Like you already said, 15 years down the line, the grammar school, the academy, those top schools, the bow school, the St. Francis.
You have to add Annie Walsh and the female schools. The point is that female schools are added.
So I can't imagine the value addition of out of camping towards quality education. Because if a student or a child is being prepared well from SS1, SS2, SS3 in our own regime, that you finish your syllabus SS2 at the first semester, first time of SS3, you are well guided with your syllabus. Before they do what you call afternoon shift sessions, where we close for WASSCE, 1 month to WASSCE, they'll gather us in the evening, they do revision, they bring in past papers, they give us continuous tests, latitude and everything, prepare you for you to cut down that phobia or that panic in the public exams. But for me, the issue of out camping, I wonder what's the morals and what the values. I thought normally we have systemic problem in this country. We have chronic problems that if a parent cannot able to control his or her child at home, who is that teacher to just go and control him in a camp? Yes, you are right. There are some camps that are positive. There are camps that are very necessary. But the thing is, the school governance and the administration has a lot to tell about this story.
If if classroom learning is very effective, why is camping required?
That's what I'm talking about. So let's go back where we missed the point. So that's what I'm saying. Government should reduce their burden of taking that front line in terms of public goods. We have to go in economics. We have to go public goods and pure public goods. Education. I always say this: education is not a pure public goods. You understand? People have to pay for it, and quality goes with money. Although to this latter part, Phebean, I may surprise, even top-notch schools, private schools that people are paying millions, and all in this campaign. The question is now, where are we heading for? There comes in again that the shift in soft skills, that the traditional way of learning is becoming outdated, archaic. But yet still, because us in Sierra Leone, we are still in the dark, majority of our parents doesn't know that the issue of citing a goal that my grandchild come first for us, at the end of the day, she's empty, because all of this campaign, when you guys, is a whole syndicate of networking for them. I visited some before coming here, when they called me day for yesterday, up to yesterday, for me to have a grounded evidence. It might surprise you go to a camp. There is no organization. When I research about the standards of camping, I don't think any camp has the basic necessity or the basic foundation of guarding people. You know, you go to a camp, Phebean, imagine the exposure of this mpox. We'll come there later. But when you look at why camping, the purpose of camping, to me, I've not seen any of those camps that are bringing us the results. However, one may say, like my brother said here, so our homes that cannot give us the latitude of a student to sit there to study. But if somebody has been taught, granted, you are well granted about your syllabus, and they finish your syllabus for you, why going to suffer? Some students, they will tell you, but I will not get a chance tomorrow. We not believe in this, but we not get away. So we leave our kids, we expose our kids in so many words, social problems, because that the social interaction, the social good, that perception. Do you know that camping has becoming the perception? I have a friend of mine, which I went to visit our daughter on the camp, that the daughter said, "Mommy, if you don't make her go join this camp, if I fail, now you're responsible." Imagine those kind of things. So it has been like a man-made, it's a phobia that I don't know whether it's coming from the teachers or it's becoming a public good, or it's becoming a philosophy that if you don't go into camping, you cannot pass WASSCE. I'm always saying this: universities, public colleges must be aware that there is a shift in hard skills to that about soft skills. Having a good WASSCE without getting the soft skills inside, it might not give you an opportunity to become a good student in WASSCE. We have this disaster when you look at the passing rates year one. Before, when you have a very good WASSCE, year one is just a rinsing process. But here we have people who have A's. But when you go to this university that they face the reality, you see them we saw the disaster at Commerce. We saw the massive failure at IPAN. We saw the massive NT point of Phebean College during the mass comm examination. These are our signals, and these are people that have a very good WASSCE results. Why am I here? I'm here for the students. What is responsible about the camping? Why are we to manage the camps? What are we going there for? Are the teachers ready to give us what we deserve? Guess what? It's not free. Every camp, they are paying huge money. But it is sometimes even the timing. If you want to camp a student, you should have started it from SS3 second term, when they have most of them again, there comes in the education and governance. Why schools throw out people just second term? Where in January, they don't stop class. Phebean, you don't know, let me tell you this. Where in February, some schools shut down for public exams. The students are just in limbo, moving from one syndicate to another with no governance.
This says a lot about the monitoring of the school.
There the problem lies. The schools has a problem too.
What do you think, because I had asked Alphonso what he thinks the ministry can do. He just said the ministry doesn't have anything to do in this. But with your submissions you just made, what do you think the ministry can do concerning this? You see,
that's why I always call on about entrepreneurial mindset in schools management, in public schools management is very essential. Yeah, the ministry have said no campaign, no extra syndicates. But if a school has I remember our time, we have extra time for public exams, for Becker, for WASSCE. When the school administration is well organized, I don't think ministry can go about it. You understand? If you set a standard timetable for one student, I don't think ministry can say, don't teach them. Yeah. 3 months towards the exam, you have a standard timetable for one student. Ministry cannot stop you, but the thing again, monitorizing education to get to a personal gain has become a mayor.
But the ministry itself is supposed to have monitoring and evaluation teams. Yes, they have that. But you also, during your submission a few seconds ago, just mentioned that for some of these schools, in January, they stop schooling, they shut down.
Yes.
So if the monitoring authorities in the ministry are very effective, you would pick up that in January, they shut down. And they're not supposed to shut down in January because the exam is not in January. It's not in February. They shut down when these kids are a few months away to exam, only to rechannel all that energy into camping, which shouldn't be the case as per the academic calendar. So again, this is what takes us right to what should the ministry do?
Thank you. Go back to the school governance. You know, that's why I said policies are made for people, public laws are made for what? For public good.